look at support matrix. Why? Let us assume that the Nginx which you are running right now might be running on Ubuntu 11 in your office, but you will never find Ubuntu 11 on Amazon Cloud. From Amazon, at least it should be Ubuntu 14 or Ubuntu 16, right? So that's the reason why I'm asking you to look at support matrix. So if it is not supported, then what will you do? First, you migrate your stuff to the supported environments, and then you take this call. Or since it is not supported, you stop the migration. You have two calls. You can make anything. I'm not trying to tell that what is correct. I'm trying to tell the possibilities to. ఓకే మనం మైగ్రేషన్ చేసేటప్పుడు సపోర్టా కాదు చూస్తాం, సపోర్టెడ్ అవుతే చేస్తాం, అవ్వకపోతే మానేయచ్చు, లేదంటే సపోర్ట్ అయ్యేదానికి మనం మూవ్ అయిన తర్వాత మైగ్రేషన్ మొదలు పెడతాం, రైట్? వీ విల్ మూవ్ టు ద సపోర్టెడ్ స్టఫ్. వీ విల్ సీ ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ సపోర్టెడ్. వీ హ్యావ్ టూ ఆప్షన్స్, రైట్? First, make yourself into the supported operating systems or supported platforms and then do the migration, or stop the migration saying that it is not supported. Whoever is responsible needs to do that job. That's basically what it is. Am I clear on this? Is it sounding interesting? Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. Support matrix is very simple. So whenever you are looking at the documentation, Amazon will tell that, okay, whenever you are doing a migration from physical to virtual machine, I only support migration of these operating systems, all right, these versions. So whatever you are migrating, whether it is supported by Amazon or not, okay, then if it is not supported, then you have to take the alternative routes. You have to take the alternative routes. Sometimes that alternative route might be giving this project to some other company. Okay, so for example, there are many AWS supported partner networks. So you can say that, okay, we want to migrate this, and then Amazon might tell that, okay, we have a partner who can do this job for you. So you are running your application in your office and you have given this project to the partner company, and those guys will basically do something so that your application or your stuff is migratable. It can be any route. I'm not trying to tell that this is the only thing. Okay, am I clear on this? Yes. Okay. Now, what are the kinds of migrations which we will try? First, let us try to know. Okay. So, migrations, okay, to be done by whom? Me, right? Yes? Not me. If I do, what will you do? All right. So, we will try what is an approach to migrate a physical to Amazon EC2. So, you have some physical machine, I want to move it to Amazon EC2. What are the possibilities? Right? And then, second one, okay, you have virtual machines which are running on Windows servers on Hyper-V. Okay, so VMs on Hyper-V to EC2, and then VMs on VMware ESX. Hyper-V all of us can do. VMware is a difficult setup. Okay, if you have VMware ESX setup, you can try this. If you don't have, you can follow whatever I'm doing in the class. There is not much of difference between the steps, but right. So VMware to simulate in your laptops is very difficult. Right, I have 32 GB of RAM in a laptop which crashes 7 times a day, which is running VMware. Okay, it is very difficult environment, right? So for that reason, Hyper-V we all can easily achieve. Hyper-V is not that difficult. Okay, so all of us will try Hyper-V migration. Okay, and then we looking at whatever we have learned from Hyper-V migration, we will also learn. You will also at least see how to do a VMware migration, and that's the reason is because lab environment is difficult for VMware. Okay, right. I'm not speaking about VMware. It is VMware ESXi, which requires a vSphere, vCenter, and all that stuff. These are all V's. You would require a giant kind of a server to basically achieve this. But in your organization, you will already have this. Okay, right. and then we will do one database migration. Okay, so I'll take a MySQL or a Postgres, and then we will try to migrate that from wherever environment, whatever the source, to Amazon RDS. Am I clear on that? So these are the migrations which we are going to do. And remember, you should be able to speak about them in your interview, and you should be able to write about this in your resume, right? And if they ask you whether you have experience in doing migrations, then you can say yes. You can say that, okay, I've done this migration, right? If you are not very much confident, at least you can say that we have tried a POC. Okay, but if you don't do the migration of Hyper-V, you will not be able to answer questions, because that's where you will see the problems. When you do a migration by your own, you will see a lot of problems. Whatever I run in the class, right? For me, I am doing this probably the 10th time or 11th time. So relatively, I will see less errors than what you see. That's the reason why I'm asking that we'll all do the migration. Okay. But in this, the only thing which you will not be able to do that is VMware. Apart from that, everything we'll all try. Clear on that? Yes. Okay. So this is basically our roadmap. Okay. So are we clear on whatever we have discussed? Yes. Okay. Right then. So what is RabbitMQ? Okay. So I'll try to tell about what is RabbitMQ. You send an SMS, right? Let us assume that you have sent an SMS to a friend whose phone is switched off. Okay. So what will happen now? After he switches on his phone, will he get your SMS? Yes. Okay. So you have called to your friend and his phone was switched off. After he switches on the phone, will he get your call again? Automatically. మీరు ఎలాగో చేస్తారు, రైట్? డబ్బులు ఇవ్వాలి కాబట్టి, లేదంటే అడితే పని ఉంది కాబట్టి. నార్మల్, ఐఎమ్ ట్రైంగ్ టు టెల్ ఆటోమేటికల్. సో ఇఫ్ యూ సీ అట్ SMS, వాట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్? యూ సెండ్ అన్ SMS till it is reached, it is guaranteed that it will try to deliver. Whereas call, you will try to call. If that is not answered at that moment, you have to recall. You have to do a call again. So what is the difference between these two things now? SMS is reliable. Yes, because once the moment he switches on the phone, he is able to receive it. Whereas call, both of them have to be connected. Okay, right? We understand these two things, right? Simple, right? Okay. Now let us assume that you are using software applications. You have a lot of servers. Okay, and from one server you have sent a request to other server. Due to some reason, at that moment the server was shut down. Okay, after you switch on the server, if you want the message to be delivered, by default it will not happen. Yes or no? So for example, you have pinged a Google and Google was shut down. What is that it will happen? It will say that it has failed. But once Google is on, will it again ping back to you? No, it will not. So message queue is a software. Okay, what it does is, whenever you send a message, it will try to send that message to the destination. Okay, if it is not available, that message will be in the queue till it is delivered. So here we have a guaranteed delivery. We have a guaranteed delivery. In some application that becomes extremely important, especially in the banking, payment gateways and all of that stuff. For doing this, there are many softwares, and RabbitMQ is one of them. That's where I have used that RabbitMQ. Clear? మీ అప్లికేషన్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ లో రిలయబుల్ మెసేజింగ్ ఉండాలి అనుకుంటే we will use MQ. It can be RabbitMQ, it can be ActiveMQ. There are many message queue softwares. Even AWS has one of the message queue. It is called as SQS, Simple Queue Service. Right? Whatever it is. Right? Fine. For example, only application migrations. How? Application migrations are not straightforward. Application migrations help. Uh, Application migrations means it should be redesigned, or it should be reworked, or it should be converted to something. So for example, if I've decided that, okay, I don't want to run my application on servers, but I will run them on Docker containers. So then first you should do some prep activity. First you should convert your application into Docker and then start deploying it. Okay, it is not a straightforward migration. Yeah. Okay, if you migrate the database as it is, it has less dependency. Then what is the second and third object we need to migrate. So whatever is depending on Oracle, then you migrate it. So for example, in this dependency graph, okay, so I can migrate Redis next, then I can migrate RabbitMQ, okay, because now RabbitMQ